Hey there, SwiftUI developers. Ever wanted to give your users the power to truly customize their experience, whether it's picking a theme color, drawing a custom line, or simply adding a splash of personality? The color picker has got you covered there, and it can be your secret weapon. In this quick tutorial, we're going to dive into exactly how to implement the color picker in your SwiftUI apps. You'll learn how to bind it to your app state, apply the chosen color to other UI elements, such as the background, shapes. You can even customize the color of buttons, any of your SwiftUI views, and you can even add custom labels to make it even more clear. As you can see, there's lots of options when working with the color picker. So let's go ahead and dive on in and learn how we can create our own custom color picker. So I'm going to start off by creating a new SwiftUI project, but if you want to add it to an existing one, of course, feel free to do so. I'm going to call this one Color Picker App Example. Make sure we're on SwiftUI and language Swift. All right, time to explore some color. Open up our content view or whatever view that you're adding it to. So to use a color picker, we need two things. First, the color picker view itself and a state variable to hold the color the user selects. Let's create our state variable first. So under the structure of our content view, but before the body of some view, we're going to create an @state private variable. We need to give our variable the name, and I'm going to call mine selected color. Now I'm going to spell it COLOR because that's how we do reference the colors in Swift. And this is going to be a color value. And we can also give it a default, and let's make this .red just as a starting default. Next, let's go ahead and get rid of our placeholders in our VStack. Let's add our color picker to our project. So we're going to do color picker, starting with the capital C and then capital P. Within the brackets, we need to give both a label and a binding. So we're going to use our label by adding a string value. We can say select color. Outside of the string, we'll add a comma, followed by our selection, comma. And just like with a text field, we're going to reference our binding using the $, and we'll use our selected color that we just created above. We can see on our UI, we have our select color, this little circle over here that kind of has a rainbow around it. We can press on that, we get a grid, a spectrum, and sliders as well. There is even the eyedropper tool so people can grab specific colors. And as we change our color, you'll kind of see if I select this purple and close out, it has updated to be purple. Now the selected color is pretty far from the text. So you might want to choose to add some padding, and that should bring it closer together, or you can do padding leading or trailing to push them. Color pickers are also usually found within forms. If we were to embed, put this in a form, this also adds a little bit of padding there, and it makes it clear to the users, so you can use a form if you'd like. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to remove the form. Let's talk about what we have so far. We have the state variable called selected color and given a default of red. Remember, state is crucial because it tells SwiftUI to re-render the view whenever this color changes. Then we created our color picker. It takes two main arguments, the label, and another cool thing is if you don't want to have any text, you can just have an empty string, as well as a selection, which we're using a binding of our selected color up here. We use the binding with the $. This binding allows that color picker to both read and write to our state. Okay, let's go ahead and apply this color picker to other visual elements so you can update things like text, shapes, background colors. So let's explore how we can do that. So I'm going to create a circle and I'm going to have empty parameters, and I'm going to go ahead and give it the fill. And within the brackets of the fill parameters, I'm going to reference our selected color. Now we don't need the $, because we're not using this circle to inherently change or write the value. We have our color picker for that. So let's go ahead and change to purple. And now we can see that our color has updated to purple. And any color we could ever dream of, we can update our circle to be. Now this circle is a little bit big, so I am going to add a frame here with a width and height to shrink it some. All right, looks much better. And we can even do lower opacity colors as well here. So if you want more of a light blue, it gives it that less opaque look. So you can play around with this. We can also apply it to things like text. So your chosen color. And we can set the foreground style to also be that selected color. You can even bold it, change the font style to be, things like title. Now, because it is a state variable, every time this refreshes, it is going to revert to our default of red. So you might want to save this variable with persistence using app storage, Swift data, etc. So the user can customize and save their changes. Here's our chosen color with that nice navy blue. And you can add as many color pickers as you'd like. Just keep in mind you will need a state private variable for each of them. So let's do selected color 2. And let's have this one's default be blue. And let's create another color picker. Select second color, comma, the selection, then be the binding for the selected color 2. And then we can add some text to show your second chosen color. Go ahead and add the foreground style to be for that selected color 2. And we can add the bold and the font of title again. And we'll give it a second to refresh. And there we go. You can use these colors in any way you'd like to update and change views and give extra customization to your users. I'm going to show you really quickly how to add a custom gradient with the backgrounds, and then we should be good to go. So I'm going to comment off the text and the circle here. And let's take our VStack. Let's right click, embed in ZStack. Now let's go to our view library. And in the views, let's go ahead and grab a gradient, and you can choose whichever gradient you want. I'm going to do a linear one, and let's drag this in our ZStack. Now in our linear gradient, it is asking for some colors, some start point, end point, etc. And within our array of colors here, let's go ahead and pass through the selected colors. So we'll do selected color, comma, selected color 2. After the linear gradient, let's add our edges ignore safe area.all to make it expand across the phone. Now we can see that we can actually update our background and make it even more custom. So I'll have my first color be purple, and maybe the second one, let's go with maybe an orange color. And there we go. So think about how you can use this color picker. Custom themes, drawing tools, personalized options. The possibilities are endless for letting users make your app truly their own. There you have it. SwiftUI ColorPicker is a powerful yet simple tool to integrate custom color selection into your apps. Today we covered declaring state for your color, binding the color picker to that state, and applying the chosen color to other views and UI elements. If this tutorial helped you unlock the power of ColorPicker, please give a thumbs up. It really helps this channel. Don't forget to subscribe for more SwiftUI tips and tricks, and let me know in the comments below what other SwiftUI components you'd like to see tutorials on. Otherwise, dream big, code bigger, and we'll see you in the next one. And link to the sample is in the description below.